So you should be checking your work to number 3. And if you used long division method, that's here. If you're given that box method a try, it's down here in green. Now, I told you I didn't want you to start in on number 4, but I imagine maybe some of you tried to, and that you probably got to about here and got a little confused because it doesn't work out. It's the first one that we're going to see with a remainder. So that when we do these problems, we're going to proceed just like we had done before. 2x times what would give me 6x squared? Well, that would be 3x. And then we distribute. So 3x times 2x plus 5 would give us 6x squared plus 15x. We subtract because we have to subtract in both columns. Get a 0, and we get negative 8x. We bring down, and then we ask ourselves, 2x times what to get negative 8x? We would do negative 4. So negative 4 times 2x plus 5. We distribute. That's negative 8x minus 20. We subtract. Remember, these double subtractions become additions so that we get a 0. And then positive 5 minus a negative 25. That's a positive 25. We have a remainder, and all we have to do with a remainder is to write it as one extra piece. So plus the remainder over the divisor. So that this answer should be 3x minus 4 plus 25 over 2x plus 5. Now with our box method, so if you're ready to tune me out because you don't like the box method at all, that's fine, tune me out, pop back in when I'm on the next piece. And when we do the box method, that all we need to do is the same setup we were doing before. So 2x plus 5 is our divisor on the outside. We start with our a value, ax squared, and then everything builds from there. So that's all that I filled in from the get-go. Then I started asking myself, okay, 2x times what to get 6x squared? 3x. Then I multiply. 3x times 5 would give me 15x. Now my diagonal, my b got split, right? O and I for FOIL. So I need to split it again. What do I need so I get back to that 7x? I need a negative 8x. Then I start all over. 2x, what did I use to get negative 8x? Negative 4. Then I multiply. Negative 4 times positive 5 gave me negative 20. And since my constant doesn't match the c value, I need to add something to the outside, right, to make it match. So negative 20 plus 25 would give me 5 for c. So there's my remainder. 25 is my remainder. So either way, the answer to this problem is 3x minus 4 plus 25 over 2x plus 5. So problem number 5. I didn't work all the way through the box method on this one, or on the previous one, so I will walk through the box method on this particular problem. And I have an x to the third, so I know I'm going to need 3 columns in my box, because I've got to have an x to the third, an x squared, and an x. And I have a binomial on the outside. So my degree determines my columns. My divisor determines my rows. So we have 2x, oops, not plus, it should be a plus 3. So I've got my setup, and I always start with that a value in the first box. So I have 8x to the third. 2x times what gives me 8x to the third? Should be 4x squared. And then we multiply. 4x squared times 3 is 12x squared. All right, x squareds. How many did I want? Well, the original doesn't have any, so I don't want any either. So I should have negative 12x squareds. 2x times what got me that negative 12x squared? Negative 6 and an x, and then I multiply. Negative 6x times positive 3 gives me negative 18x. How many x's did I want? My original has none, so I don't want any. So I should add 18x. 2x times what gives me 18x? It should be a 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And if my C value matches, I have no remainder. C matches C, no remainder. My answer should just be 4x squared minus 6x plus, oops, I missed my plus 9. If you are a long division fan, let's work through yours, because yours has a little trick to it as well. You have to make the observation, instead of how many columns do you need to notice that you're missing terms, that you don't have any x squareds and you don't have any x's. So you need to do a rewrite step and put them in as zeros. So 2x plus 3 is your divisor, and you're dividing 8x to the third plus 0x squareds plus 0x's plus 27. Got to have those placeholders. And then you go through all your long division steps, which I'm not going to talk through, but you can fill them in. Okay, I fibbed. I'll talk a little. So I did my distribution. Now I'm doing my subtraction. Subtract. 0, negative 12x squared. Bring down. 2x times what gives you negative 12x squared? I need a negative 6, and I also need an x. So then I distribute negative 12x squared minus 18x. Then I need to subtract, so that I get an 18x, and I bring down. 2x times what gives me 18x? Positive 9. Then I distribute 18x plus 27, subtract, and I have no remainder. So I got the exact same answer that I had before when I did it with the box method. Number 6 is exactly the same regardless of which method you choose. The only thing you have to notice here is that it's not a monomial in the denominator, it's a binomial, so you have to use one of these two methods. Give it a try, come back and check your work. All right, so you're coming back to check your work for number 6, and I want to point out that regardless of which method you chose, you should in fact have the answer 3x plus 2 plus 3 over 5x plus 1. And I also want to remind you of the things that we did. The first thing that we did was that we said if we were dividing by a monomial, we could just do fraction simplification. If we're dividing by a binomial, then we need to use one of the long division methods. So whether you chose to do long division like elementary school style, or if you chose to do long division with a box method, either way, we could end up with a remainder or a non-remainder. So just make sure that when you have a remainder that it always goes over whatever you divided by, just like it did when we first learned division. I will see you in class. Enjoy your evening.